are strange cases in medicine. And then there's the case of Gloria Ramirez, a woman whose very body became toxic. Doctors collapsed, nurses fainted, and to this day, no one knows exactly what happened. What you're about to hear is a true story, one that sounds like science fiction, but isn't. It happened in a real emergency room, under bright hospital lights, in front of trained professionals, and nearly 30 years later, it's still unsolved. Welcome to Digital Detectives. Let's explore one of the strangest mysteries in medical history. It's February 19th, 1994, Riverside, California. A woman named Gloria Ramirez arrives at the emergency room of Riverside General Hospital. She's 31 years old, a mother of two, and she's in serious distress. She's struggling to breathe, her heart is racing, and her speech is slurred. Doctors quickly learn she's been battling late-stage cervical cancer, but nothing could have prepared them for what happened next. As the medical team begins working on her, multiple staff members start to notice something off. First, her skin appears oily. Then, they smell it, a strange, fruity, garlic-like odor coming from her body. Nurses report a metallic, chemical scent in the air. When a nurse inserts an IV needle into Gloria's arm, something truly bizarre happens. She notices strange, manila-colored particles floating in the blood. The blood smells even more powerful now. The nurse suddenly feels lightheaded and collapses. Moments later, another staff member faints, then another. Within minutes, 6 people fall ill, several of them collapsing in the emergency room. One nurse stops breathing and needs to be rushed out. A doctor begins to convulse. It's chaos. And at the center of it all is Gloria Ramirez. Despite the commotion, the doctors continue trying to save her. They administer sedatives and defibrillate her heart. But within 45 minutes of arriving at the hospital, Gloria Ramirez is pronounced dead. She never regains consciousness. But strangely, even after she passes, the symptoms among hospital staff continue. They evacuate the ER. The hazmat team is called in. The ER is sealed off, and an investigation begins, because something very unusual has just occurred. In total, 23 people become ill after exposure to Gloria's body. 5 require hospitalization. But here's the twist. The paramedics who brought her in, totally fine. The 2 staff members who initially treated her in the ambulance, no symptoms at all. So whatever caused the reaction, it only happened inside the hospital, and it wasn't contagious. So what did these doctors and nurses encounter? The county health department launches an investigation. Their conclusion: a mass case of hysteria, or mass psychogenic illness. They suggest that panic and stress caused multiple staff members to faint or feel ill. A kind of psychological domino effect. But not everyone buys it. Because there was one key witness who didn't just feel dizzy. She nearly died. Her name was Dr. Julie Gorshinsky. She was one of the ER physicians treating Gloria. After exposure, she spent 2 weeks in intensive care. She developed hepatitis, pancreatitis, and a vascular necrosis. Her bones began to deteriorate. And this wasn't imagined. This was medically documented. Julie wasn't panicking. She was poisoned. So if it wasn't hysteria, what was it? The Ramirez family demands answers, and public pressure forces a second, independent investigation. Enter Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, one of the most advanced research institutions in the U.S. What they uncover is strange and deeply unsettling. The lab suggests that Gloria may have been using a home remedy to ease her cancer pain, specifically an industrial chemical called dimethyl sulfoxide, or DMSO. This is a solvent sometimes used as a topical pain reliever, though not medically approved. It's known to leave an oily residue on the skin. It smells like garlic, and, crucially, it can build up in the body over time. Here's where it gets wild. Livermore's theory is this: if Gloria had been using DMSO heavily, and if her kidneys were failing due to cancer, the chemical could have built up in her system. Then, when hospital staff gave her oxygen and electric shocks, the DMSO could have been chemically transformed into dimethyl sulfate, a toxic gas. Dimethyl sulfate is a powerful chemical warfare agent. It causes convulsions, fainting, respiratory paralysis. Even tiny exposures can knock someone out cold. It could explain the collapse of hospital staff. It could explain why the symptoms started when her blood was exposed to air. It could explain everything. But there's a problem. No one has ever proven that this chemical transformation can happen in a human body. It's purely theoretical, and it's never been replicated. Gloria's family never accepted the explanation. They insist she never used DMSO or any chemical solvents. They say she was a regular woman trying to live through cancer, nothing more. And they were upset by how quickly officials tried to frame the case as hysteria. Or worse, blame Gloria herself. To them, the mystery has never been solved, and maybe it never will be. To this day, the case of Gloria Ramirez remains one of the strangest unsolved medical events in U.S. history. It's been studied in science journals, used in chemistry courses, and debated by toxicologists for nearly 30 years. She's often referred to as the toxic woman. But maybe that title misses the point, because behind the headlines, Gloria was a real person, a daughter, a mother, someone facing a terrifying diagnosis, who became part of something even more terrifying. So what do you think happened that night? Was it truly a chemical chain reaction gone wrong? Or was something else introduced into her system? Why did it affect only certain people and not others? And why have we never seen a case like this again? Let us know your theory in the comments. And if you want to hear more of the world's weirdest, creepiest, and most puzzling mysteries, subscribe to Digital Detectives. We dig deep into the truth when the truth refuses to come easy. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.